The train is rolling through.
You can hear a real train from here.
You can,
Yeah.
yes. We are close to that.
We are. How you guys doing this week?
Thank you for joining us, everybody. I hope everyone had a super good week. It's been pretty good here.
Yep. In
Can't
case
complain.
you're lost and don't know where you're at Madam Mayor's Adventures, and we're glad to have you here with our adventures.
Straight from Alaska.
Yep. We're still at the Fort Wainwright campsite.
Yep, enjoying it.
We like it. It's very rural. You may have a camper come in here and there, but it's open. It's not busy. I think there's maybe 3 other campers in here.
Yeah, most
Yeah.
people just stay the night, I guess.
Yeah, they just stay the night, I guess, and roll on. We even had a boat spend the night.
Yeah, someone was camping in their boat.
They were camping in their boat. I'm not kidding. It was a larger boat for a trailer boat, and it had all the sides on it, so you could camp in that. It had a big cuddy cabin on it.
It was just different to see in a campground.
So we wanted to do this outside because it is nice. There's a 35% chance of rain, but it got pushed back. So if we do start raining, we'll just either take it inside or we'll bring the awning out.
But the weather
But
here is super nice.
gorgeous.
Glad you asked. It has warmed up quite a bit. So today we've been in t-shirts and shorts.
Yep.
I am wearing a little sweat jacket now just to keep the mosquitoes off of my arms because the mosquitoes are starting to come out.
Oh yeah, they've been pretty pesky.
We did a workout outside today
We did.
in our little RV spot, which was super nice, but the mosquitoes were definitely biting during the workout.
Well, we got something for that, and it's all about the deep.
Deep.
You gotta have that deep. Gotta have that deep.
So yeah, it was super nice. It's been really nice in this campground being able to go for walks in the woods and go on nice bike rides. It's much nicer to start getting more in shape.
Yeah, so today I got the weather app pulled up here, and this is specifically for Fort Wainwright, which is where we are. And the current temperature is 69 degrees.
69.
But here's something I wanted to show you because not everybody gets to see this. A couple days ago was the first day that the sun actually sets before it rises. And you're thinking, what? True that. Look at this. Sunset. 12:09. Sunrise. 3:27. So it actually sets just after midnight, and then a couple hours later pops back up.
And that's one thing we still haven't gotten adjusted to yet is our times. And we still stay up way late at night and then want to sleep
Yeah.
in the morning. So
We'd like to be up at 7, but 7 goes by and keeps going. And
You
8
look
comes
and you're
by
like,
and keeps
"Ah."
going.
I could still sleep another half an hour.
Right.
So it's been some days between 9 and 10, which is, I've never slept that late. But yeah.
And yes, Teresa, it's full green here. As you guys may have seen when we were coming up, a lot of the grasses still hadn't turned. A lot of the trees still hadn't leaved out, but it's full leaf here. They got full leaves. I think everything's greened up as much as it's going to green.
And so far in this campground, the only critters we've seen are these cute little squirrels. We know there's moose around because we've seen their poop, but we just haven't seen them.
Mm-hmm.
They've been pretty elusive so far this year. So, but it's super nice. I love it here. It's very peaceful. I was thinking that this would be a great opportunity coming to Alaska to do a reset and get back to some of the things that we need to do for ourselves.
Jeff asked how the mosquitoes are. Yeah, they're pretty bad. In case you joined us late,
But they're going to get worse.
we got our DEET. You gotta get your
So-
DEET on. But
But yeah, so far it's been a great opportunity. You're much more disconnected here and getting more involved with nature, and you're leaving a lot of negative things behind because you are so far away from lots of things. And there are a lot of things in this world that can easily cause you havoc, negativity, and so forth. And sometimes you get so caught up in life that you kind of lose yourself a little bit.
yeah.
So it's been nice to be able to reset, get back into eating a little bit better, working out a little bit more, doing a lot more self-care. Self-care is very important.
And
So-
speaking of working out, We did visit the gyms on the base. Kind of did a walkthrough to see what they had, and
They
they've
have
got.
some very nice gyms
They
on
are.
most every base I've been on.
Um, yes, I'm saying that they have an older gym called Malaven Gym, and then they have a newer one they call the PFC, which is a Physical Fitness Center. The newer one is nice, but most of it's under construction.
Yeah, there is a lot of
So,
construction going on around the whole base.
It's a little bit like a lot of the aerobic exercise machines are kind of out of play because of most of them are on the second floor, and the whole second floor, which has a track that you can run around, is all closed. And some rooms downstairs are also closed, so it's kind of
It's still ginormous, though.
it's big.
I
Though.
mean, their gyms are no joke.
When I got here before, they had 5 racquetball courts, but they have filled all the racquetball courts with free weights.
There's still one.
There's still one.
And they did that at Greeley as well, because I
Yeah.
guess racquetball maybe is just not as popular.
Not as popular, I guess.
So, but I'm pretty amazed by the size of it and the nice equipment they have.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Got a lot of equipment.
so the one gym is only open Monday through Friday. So,
Mm-hmm. The Malaven Gym is kind of a preferred gym if you don't like working out with, excuse me, lots of people. It's an older gym, but it has the indoor pool in it. But apparently, the indoor pool is closed. So
it should be open.
all
That would be great.
All that money for this pool, and it's not even open.
Yeah.
I think that was the case at Greeley too.
Yeah, Greeley, they said it
They
is
had this-
closed a lot of the time.
Why have it? You know how much pools cost
Hi,
to
Deborah.
build and to
Miss you.
maintain? They cost so much, and then they're closed most of the time.
Yeah, I would love to
Wow.
jump in a pool right now. That would be super
Yeah.
fantastic. So it's been a super fun week. What have we
Yeah.
done this week?
We went on the Riverboat Discovery.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Yeah. And
So-
they had some things in that I don't recall from the past, like near the end, we visit this village. That's pretty neat.
Yeah,
So
so we'll put that video out sometime this week so you all can experience it as well.
yeah,
That was another thing with that Tour Saver book, that it was a BOGO deal. So that saved $90, which the price of the book we bought was $80. So we're already
yeah.
in a good place.
And our what do you call it? Our tour guide, I guess, who did most of the speaking.
Mm-hmm.
J.R. Lewis, he's actually a newscaster. He's an anchor for News Center 11, local out of Fairbanks. So I recognized his voice. I'm like, man, that sounds like Alan Alda. But I know it ain't Alan Alda. And then I put the name together because I got closer to him later on and realized, oh, J.R. Lewis. Oh, yeah, I remember him now. From, I think he's still doing the newscast. We really haven't watched much of the local news, but...
We've watched a few times. I believe I
few
saw
times.
him.
I think we saw him on there.
The news is much more tame here, so
Oh,
it doesn't
yeah.
cause as much anxiety as when you're watching the news in
Yeah,
Florida
not every line starts with a Florida man.
or some kind of crazy,
Florida man was
crazy
arrested
story.
in Sarasota today, and
They also have positive stuff on their news,
Yeah.
which is super nice.
they do the lunch menus too when they
Hmm.
when the school is in.
And that's another thing I've noticed just being here in Alaska is it's like it's 20 years ago.
It is,
And it's
like,
super nice because 20 years ago, times were super great.
they still have that goofy older guy who does the Mattress Ranch commercials. I can't believe he's been on there like 50 years. Seriously,
It's that SpongeBob tie he wears that
Yeah.
just keeps him going.
they have the same commercials from 20 years ago.
But it's great. I love it. It's just, those were good times. So it's nice to be reliving some good times
Yeah.
then if that's the feel of it.
It is a much slower pace here. No one really seems to be in a hurry. It is kind of a throwback. If something works, they don't, why change it?
That's smart, which is
So-
why this is a perfect place to reset yourself and just get back to the basics and the way things should be. Now you just got to remember to take that attitude with you when you go back to the lower 48, which
Yeah.
will be hard.
Yeah.
But we'll see what we can do, because I would just love to be in the better shape that I used to be in. You have much more positive attitude and spirits and things like that. So it's all about the choices you make every day. Just make
Yeah.
positive little improvements day by day.
Working out is harder now. I mean,
Yeah, when you get older, it's harder, and it's also hard to get out of the rut and get yourself motivated
yeah.
and push to get there.
There seems to be a little hump when you pass 30, and then there's a little hump when you pass 40, and there's definitely a hump when you pass 50. You're like,
Yeah. It's like every 10 years, it's a new phase to get through, and you just got to move a
Yeah.
little bit slower and controlled, and don't be going in there like, trying to nail it all out real fast. You end up hurting
yeah,
for
see,
certain.
Deborah's in the chat. How's Shady Oaks doing? Pretty much the same. Any new rules or anything like that?
We are in the Fairbanks area
Yep. Yeah.
at Fort
I'm a
Wainwright.
few years away from 60, but it's coming fast.
Yeah, I know my one friend Lisa, she used to always tell me, just wait till you get 50. And then if you think that's bad, wait till you get 60. And as I've been hitting the different milestones, I just always remember Lisa in my ear. And I'm like, yep, she wasn't kidding.
Someone asked how far it is from Otter Creek. I remember mapping that before, and it was like 5,500 miles roughly. And we had some detouring to do because of the fires. So we've probably driven 6,000 miles, I would imagine.
Enough to
Yep.
do an oil change.
Enough to do an oil change. Because when we bought this, it had just under 5,000 miles on it. And I think it had 7,000 when we left Florida, and it has now 12,000 something. So,
Goodness, we're getting
Yeah.
her all broke in, huh?
yeah.
And I still love it. I love this little RV. It's been super great.
It has.
I can tell you, I wish I had left even more things at home because I don't need a fraction of the crap I brought.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some great things that I use consistently. And so now we'll know what those things are and not bring them next year.
Someone asked, a member asked, have you been to the Malamute Saloon yet? No,
Where's that?
I don't even know.
Oh,
So,
guess we'll have to do some research.
when I was here and younger, I used to visit the Spur, I think it was called, but it was the old location, which is now a pawn shop. And I think the Spur now is down on Airport Way, because I think I've seen it. I don't know. I didn't go a lot, but whenever I did.
Yeah, when I was younger, I only went to those type of places a handful of times even.
But it is strange to come out of a bar at 2 in the morning and it's daylight like this.
I would imagine so. It's probably helpful though. You can see what you might trip on.
Yeah.
In Florida, it's going to be dark and you might end up on
Trip
the ground.
over a gator or something.
You certainly could, that's for sure. Oh, goodness. So, what else? What are we doing this week?
I think we're looking to schedule a tour with the Gold Dredge, number 8.
That would be fun.
Yeah, so
I know we've got to look. I have this little list of different things, and I keep adding. Every time I cross something off, I add something else on it. So I got to refer to that.
you still have to visit Pioneer Park.
Yes.
They have a salmon bake there.
Ooh,
So that could be the same event or 2 different events.
I love some seafood.
And you've tried a lot of seafood already.
Yeah,
Oh, on the riverboat they even
they had some
sampled
salmon,
some salmon
dip. And it was fabulous. I mean, it was such a, I don't know how to describe the difference. It's like richer, just, I don't know. I was tasting it for hours afterward in a wonderful way. It was just like, oh man, I could have took that whole bowl home. It would have been great. But it was like $16 a can if you wanted
Somebody
to buy
was
some.
asking about the Canadian gas. I think the best price we got was about $1.77 a liter.
Oh yeah, that's because they were doing that super special
Special.
to kick off the summer
And
holiday.
I think the most we paid was $1.94 a liter.
That is also where we ended up buying our propane because they were doing a special at that place.
Yep. We did not buy gas on the Cassiar because that's the most expensive place you can buy gas.
We did buy it like as soon as you
Yeah,
got
at
off.
the top of the Cassiar, right where it meets up with
97?
the Alcan, yeah. There you can buy gas, and they actually have a sign that says that they're the cheapest around, and I think they were. And we did fill up there. But I don't know what $1.77 a gallon translates, converts into US dollars per gallon. I
You have to
think
get
it's
out your
between
little
$5 and
converting
$6.
calculator.
Yeah, I looked at it when I was traveling,
Yeah,
but I
someone
haven't looked
asking
at it
how many
recently.
liters in a gallon.
I forget, but you can
I think it's
Google all
like
that
3
stuff.
point something, right?
There's actually some sites that will take the price per liter, Canadian dollar per liter, and flip it into US dollars per gallon. So there's two conversions there you got to do. You got to convert the money and the quantity.
I mean, these phones are great. They're little computers in your hands.
Yeah.
You can figure absolutely everything out, and you don't have to hurt your brain at all.
Mhm.
It's so wonderful.
And the gas here, we've been buying regular gas because the motorhome hasn't moved a whole lot. So the Jeep takes regular gas, and it gets, I think the cheapest is Costco. If you can get to Costco to get the gas, it's definitely cheaper there than anywhere else. And it's cheaper by about 30 cents. It's pretty significant.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
you definitely have to have a Costco membership if you live here, because not only is the gas super cheap, but
it's
of course you can
three,
buy other things grocery wise. I even got two nice little pairs of exercise shorts there for cheap, and
mhm.
Brett got a long sleeve shirt. So you got to find wherever you can save money these days. So that if I lived here, I definitely would have a membership to the Costco.
Yeah, it was 371 for a regular unleaded 87 octane gas, and on the base or in the other areas it's around 414. $10 a gallon. Oh my goodness.
Where?
In the Netherlands.
Oh Lord,
Yeah. In Canada there's some, it's pretty close to that in some places too. Um, and
I
most
guess
of
you don't go to too many
no,
places when the gas is like that.
and most of that is taxes. You would be surprised how much of that is taxes. It's more than 50%
I wouldn't be that
tax.
surprised. The government's the legal mafia, and I mean,
In Edmonton, someone says you can get gas for 146 per gallon. What does that convert to
Per
in
liter.
US? Someone can do that for me.
oh, so yeah. So this week, I know we got to find a few more things to do, but we kind of plan as it goes because so far this week is looking like it could be a little bit more rainy, but you never know
Mhm.
because things change pretty fast here.
Yeah.
So, and the rain is also fairly different here. It's not
Yeah.
like a torrential downpour, at least not that I've experienced so far.
It's a light drizzle.
So, oh, Tube Town's gonna get some Canadian flags. All right, decorate that place up. Love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and so we'll probably be doing more working out this week. I know they have a little disc golf course
Oh yeah.
right by the campground, so we're probably gonna go try that out this
Yeah,
week.
we'll try that out.
I've never played before. It
And
doesn't.
I don't have any disc golf sets, a set of disc golf discs, but they rent them out here at the MWR, which is the main office here
Yeah,
for
so
the
we'll have
campground.
to check it out. It doesn't look like it's that difficult of a course.
Mm-mm.
They had one in Ocala that everybody used to play at near where I lived, and that course was super great. So if we end up loving it when we go back down, we'll have to go check out that one and play it.
Yeah.
Maybe buy some little discs ourselves. So, and unfortunately, I don't have any mail to open this week. So next week is going to be a lot more because I know I do have a package or two from Sherry. Thank you so much. And
Yeah.
I will be opening that next Sunday because I will be picking it up later after the live.
Yes, it's at the other campground. That campground's in North Pole, and we're going there this evening. We've been invited by a family to have a fish boil. a
Yeah, I've
seafood
never
boil.
been to one of those, so I'm super
So,
duper excited.
I'm curious what the seafood is going to be.
And I just like to give a shout out to Jason and his family because
Yep.
they have been so wonderful to us.
They
And
they
they-
hosted us for a dinner, and
It's been so nice meeting them and spending time with them.
Yep.
And they almost feel like an extended family. They're just super great. We did meet with Jason when we first got here a couple days in, and he took us to breakfast. And then we've met with him a few times and met a few members of his family and his mom, and they're just all super sweet. And she's like my Alaska Belinda. She's like the mom everybody wants.
and I believe she gifted you.
She did. Now she is a fabulous sewer, and she has a booth at the I keep wanting to call it
I
the
keep
flea
wanting to- I
market,
keep wanting
but
to say
it's the
flea market
farmer's
too, but it's a
market.
farmer's market.
And she sews everything, and it's amazing quality, super great. Matter of fact, I do want to get back there because you know those little cozies you put over your bowl to put in the microwave. I want to get one or two of those from her at the booth. But she has aprons and hoodies and little placemats for the tables and pot holders and those bowl koozies. And I'm probably missing a few things, a table runner, I think.
Showing me a little jacket.
But the quality of it is fabulous. She sews so great, and it was just nice to meet them. And she gave me this little hoodie, which I love so much. I'm going to stand up, but let me zip it up so you can see it. It's got all my little stars.
A safety man. Yeah, we did get the generator. It did start up and run, and then I turned
Check
it
it
right
out.
off.
It's
We
got
haven't
little
been hooked up
stars
to it
all the way
since, though. We're on
around
shore
it.
power here.
I love it.
Yeah, it's cute.
And it's so comfortable. It's so soft. So she gave me this for my birthday present, and I was so sweet.
Pretty patriotic.
So
isn't it?
special for people to be so generous and welcoming, and it brings tears to my eyes that they're still good people, and we should all treat each other that way. But I just love it. And even the pockets, it's got like 2 pockets so you can separate stuff. So I thank you so much for this present. I love it. I wear it all the time because it's just super soft, and it's my new favorite jacket. But that's her card.
If you're ever up in the Fairbanks area,
At the farmer's
the
market,
farmer's market, check her out.
definitely check her out because she's got some good quality stuff. She's the real deal. And she's so super sweet. So it'd be nice to help support a wonderful family. But I've just been taken aback how wonderful they are and how nice they've treated us. And it feels very special. So we appreciate them immensely. And that's a great part of this is you get to meet so many wonderful people. So I love that part of it.
Yeah,
having the
and
channel.
Santa Claus knew where Otter Creek was. I mean, he knew exactly where it was.
That
I'm
was
like,
just
oh,
funny
boy.
because I've never, whenever someone's like, so where are you from? And you say Otter Creek, and they're like, what? Where's that? So someone would be like, oh, Otter Creek, especially someone in Alaska, Santa Claus. I'm like,
Well,
really?
of course he would know where it's at, right?
Of course he
Live his
does.
toys
But
there.
yeah, it was just like, wow.
Maybe he was at Christmas in the Creek in the skies.
Oh, thank you, Jason. But yeah, they're like our new extended family. So, what else? What else is happening?
We are going to be making our way down to South Alaska, but we don't want to have to double back. The summers up here are better. They're drier. They're warmer.
Yes, I am in
So we wanna
love with the summers
spend
here.
most of it up here, but then we will toward the end of June, I think, be heading down south. You got to wait for the salmon runs to come in anyway. So July is a good time to circle south because we want to go down on the Kenai Peninsula and visit some of the towns down there, Homer, Soldotna, Seward, and then maybe make our way across back up through Anchorage and go over to Wasilla and Valdez, maybe go down to Valdez. And then on our way up from Valdez, we want to stop there at the Copper River Center and hopefully get to see the Kennecott Mine. That would be neat to do. That would be a whole day trip in there. But
There's so many things I
a
want
lot.
to do.
There
The
is a lot.
glacier tours, seeing
yeah,
the
there's a lot to
whales. There's a lot.
I'm
And I
more
love being
I'm
in
more
nature.
familiar with the stuff around Fairbanks, but when we get down there, we'll just have to research it. We'll have to find it.
Pretty much. I mean, that's what you got to do anywhere. Because even when you lived here, what did you get to do while you're here? Because you're working, you don't end up doing all those things you want to do.
I agree with James. He says Alaska is what America used to be.
Yeah, and
You're
that's why
absolutely
I
right.
love it so much here because
Yeah.
America
The direction that
used to be
most of
so
America's
wonderful.
going is on the wrong path, I think. Now, that's my personal opinion, but
And 20 years ago in America, I just
know.
remember how nice it felt.
it's a
And
lot less fun to be in America now than it was 20 years ago.
right. So getting to have that feeling again that
Hi,
you
Diane.
haven't felt in so long has been super great. The people are just wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And, although we do miss some wonderful people back in Otter Creek, because that was another thing about Otter Creek is even though there's this small group of bad apples there, there's an amazing group of people there that would drop whatever to come help you if you needed
Mm-hmm.
help. I mean, Jeremy and George, you've got Ellie, Belinda and Doug, Carl. There's just so many people there. If you ever need anything, Zim, if a pipe broke and you needed some stuff immediately, any one of us could call any one of us
Mm-hmm.
and we'd all be there to help. And that was so nice. There was such a good large group of people to help, even the Hudson sisters. I mean, there's a lot to name, and if I missed anybody, I'm sorry, but y'all know who you are. And
Mm-hmm.
it's great to have a good network of people like that.
And Melanie was talking about the Summers in Alaska YouTube channel. We're familiar with them. We don't watch them regularly, but we have gotten on their channel, watched some of it.
Yeah, it's hard to watch anyone very regularly
They're pretty
because we're
big,
so
though.
busy.
I would reach out to them, be like, "Hey, you want to do a mutual thing?" But they're pretty big. They're not as big as Jeremy, but they're pretty big, and they're
And
busy.
they have a family
They have
and
a
all
family,
that. So, I mean, I doubt that
if they want to reach out to
might
us,
be
if
on
they
their
happen
radar.
to see our channel and want to reach out to us, we're welcoming. But we're not going to bother them.
Oh, Wyoming. I bet that's beautiful.
Yeah, there's a lot of places in the lower 48 we'd like to visit, but this summer was dedicated to Alaska and just Alaska. I mean, you come a long way up here, so you want to see as much as you can and use the whole summer because in September it's going to run you out of here.
Yeah. That's why I always say, too, if you really want to get to spend some time in it, take a good solid couple of months if you can. I know that's not always an option. I would have liked to be able to have spent a month or two in Israel when I went, but was not
Yeah,
an option.
some-
That's super expensive.
Some places are just you got to spend more time there.
Oh,
And
hi from Puerto Rico.
yeah, when I worked here, you get your weekends and you get your long weekends, but you don't take months off.
Yeah.
Because some of these places, it takes you 6 hours to drive there.
Mm-hmm.
Or if you want to fly out to a village and check it out, you're talking about a whole day or two.
Yeah.
It's just the state is so big and so vast, and there's so much to see that
It's hard to go do stuff.
It's hard to do it in a short amount of time.
Well, even when I was working at the post office living in Florida, I mean, most postal workers know you're going to work at least 6 days out of the week, if not 7. So on that one day off are you cleaning and fixing things in your house, or you run in to go do a fun activity? It's a huge toss up. You might just want to sleep because you're so dead tired from your 6 days, but it's really hard to be able to go do things when you're working. So when I was at the post office, it was not a lot of going and doing things. It was mostly work, sleep, repeat.
Work, sleep, repeat.
And it's like that for most people. So, but when you do get the opportunity, it just makes you really enjoy them.
It seems like the base's mission here has changed quite a bit from when I was here. I first came up in '97, and I came back again in 2003, and then I stayed up here until 2018. But the mission, I'm not speaking officially here, but it's just our conjecture after talking to some of the soldiers here, and that the mission has changed quite a bit. It used to be predominantly aviation, and the aviation assets are still here, but it's more infantry than it used to be. It's more, and it looks like they're augmenting the infantry that they put up here. It looks like they're adding to that. It looks like they're going to bring more.
Yeah, they're still
So-
growing, so there's a lot of construction
Yeah,
going
there's a
on.
lot of construction going on, and the base is getting the downtown portion of the base is getting kind of crowded. Like, I don't know where they're going to put more housing, because they've got housing now. Didn't used to be up on the gate. Now housing starts at the gate and goes all the way. I mean, there's a lot of housing, like a lot of housing.
There are a lot of young families here. I've noticed Even if you look at most of the soldiers, they're a lot younger than on the other bases I've seen.
And we've talked to maybe 3 or 4, just a handful of guys, about how they like their station here, and they said, "Oh, they love Alaska. They love the duty assignment, but they don't necessarily like um, their command climate." I guess we'll say. They say they don't give enough um,
recovery
time before they go back out onto a mission.
Which, speaking to
So-
them, it reminded me a lot of the post office and how they wanted everyone to be like a robot
Yeah.
without, if you're sick, you need to still come in here and do this, or if you're injured, you still need to do this. And
You got to remember how the military works too. The higher ups, the commanders and the colonels and even the generals, they have to check a block. Okay, they have to do. It's all about training. They secure training dollars, and they have to check a block. Have we done this? Have we done that? Have we done this? They used to have exercises up here. I think they called them Red Flag, Arctic Edge. There's others. I can't remember what they called them, and they may have changed the names. They may still do them. I don't even know. But sometimes they push training so hard and so frequently because they're trying to get that little block checked, because these commanders move around a lot.
well, I think that's like that in most companies too. They're checking blocks, they're making themselves known, they're making a name for
Yeah.
themselves. Post office does the same thing. The people that want to move up in ranks into the postmaster and this and that, they go through to some of these post offices that aren't being run real well. They go in as an acting person, they make all these changes, their numbers look wonderful, then they promote them somewhere else, then that post office goes back to crap because it was just a little fake out for the promotion.
Yeah.
Um,
So Alaska does not have alligators, and they do not have snakes, and they don't have poisonous plants until you get down south, and then they have a devil's club. So outside of that, no. The stuff here,
the biggest problem they've got is some
the
mosquitoes.
mosquitoes, and you've got a couple of animals that put you down on the food chain, 2 or 3 down on the food chain.
Yeah.
But I always told Therese that it's the little stuff in Florida that'll kill you. It's the bigger stuff here that'll kill you.
I know you got the spiders and everything that'll
Yeah.
kill you. I mean, what is that one spider, the brown recluse? I was bit by one of those when I was delivering mail, and that was pretty bad.
I
My
don't
leg
know if
blew
they
up.
have that here or not. They might.
It was pretty
They
horrible.
have cockroaches, but they're not as abundant.
I was hospitalized because of that spider.
They don't have ticks and fleas up here, so that's nice. I know when we
What about
had,
ants?
I think they have ants. I don't remember seeing. They're not.
If
as
so, they're not like
abundant.
Florida, because
Yeah,
Florida's
ants
got
are everywhere.
where I think one day everything's just gonna go because there's
Yeah.
tunnels all under the house and everything.
Sasquatch. There might be a Sasquatch out here. I don't know.
It'd be a good place for Sasquatch.
Yeah, it'd be a good place for them.
I mean, they make all those specials about aliens and Bigfoot and everything being here in Alaska. Could you blame them if this is where they wanted to live?
You want to show them around our camp a little bit?
Sure.
Hey,
Did they have a permission slip filled out?
you guys want to see our little
And take
campsite
them on a
here?
field trip?
Well, I'll take you with us. And we're gonna flip the camera around though, so you can see something other than my mug. All right. So here's where we were sitting on the table here, and we're not really sure what the cabins are about. I think they used to rent them out, now they don't rent them anymore.
It'd be nice if it was open. I could put my bicycle
Yeah,
inside.
but some of them have cabins. We're backed right up to it, and some of them don't. So I don't know what the story with the cabins is about.
Sweet nectar of the coffee.
Just drinking coffee.
Love
So
me some coffee.
let me get out here and get away from this a little bit, and you'll be able to see it better.
What was that tea that we had?
Oh,
Sweet.
chaga.
Listen, I love this tea.
That tea was good, wasn't it?
I need to get me some more.
I
of
was
this
sipping
tea.
off yours, but I think I drank most of it.
Yeah, I was like, why didn't you get your own cup, dude? Stealing up my nectar.
So you have a site here, and you have one back here. No one's in this one. You got one there, one over there, and there's 2 back here that are empty. You got one right here that's empty. You got 3 more back there in the woods that are empty. And we're kind of in the curve here. But this is our little setup. They do have water and electric here, and the dump site is up front.
So when I'm not sharing with you.
So when you need to dump, you just unhook your utilities, drive around the loop, and set it back in the hole.
I'm not gonna share my butter rum lifesaver with you.
Okay.
These are the bomb.
Yeah, Teresa, I agree. That chocolate was good, and he put cinnamon on it.
Yeah, it was so good. I love that stuff. I need some more of that.
You want to look at the trees? The clouds are starting to move in, but it was bright sunny this morning. So
Yeah.
it was mostly spruce trees here. But there are some birch trees.
And I think there's a ton of wild roses that are gonna bloom.
I think they're called rosehip.
Oh,
That's those thorny kind of ones
but I
that
think
bloom.
that's all what's in there.
I think they're called rosehip. I don't remember all the species up here. Yeah, it's a very quiet area. I mean, there's nothing going on here. There's a housing area right behind these trees. It looks like they've cut away a little walkway here. We can walk down there. You want to walk down there? We can walk and talk.
You got those kind of skills?
I think so. If I trip and fall, the camera will face plant into the dirt.
Then you can have a close up of the dirt. So you get a soil sample.
But we're in Alaska, so we want to take this opportunity to just kind of show you around a little bit, you know. We're going to come up on the back side of some housing. We are on the base. We saw lots of bears coming up here, but we haven't walked into any.
Thank God.
Yeah, I don't want to walk into a bear. We are in a very moosey
I
area.
still don't have any bear spray.
We have not seen any moose at the campground.
And I've been told my whistle will just be part of some poop.
So we're just coming up on this. It's a large drainage ditch on the back of some housing. But this is newer housing. It wasn't here when I was here. It's just the back side of some housing. On-base housing. It's very nice. There's lots of playgrounds throughout the housing areas.
No, it's super great. No poison ivy.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about ivy and snakes.
Thank
Because
goodness.
when I got to Florida and I was with the realtor looking at the campground, I was kind of jumping through the woods, and she's like, you might not want to just step over those trees. Oh, I'm like, oh.
I like when there was a snake in the campground. If he found out, he'd be screaming. So usually if I saw a snake, I'd just be quiet if it wasn't going near him because he'd start screaming like crazy.
There's like a little spillway right here. But you can be here all day and maybe you'll see 2 cars go around the loop, maybe a camper. That's it.
There's an ant.
Very quiet. Oh,
I found an ant.
so there are ants. It's been confirmed.
But the question is, are there any uncles?
Are there any uncles? So it's just a loop. In fact, it's called Moose Loop. It loops around. And then there's some completely dry camping spots. I think they call it Bear Loop or something like that. But this is the bigger of the 2 loops. It's not a very big campground, which makes it nice too. But you can see in looking at this one, the commissary, we've only walked through it once. We didn't do any shopping there, so I don't know how their prices are. I think most people, because there's no taxes here on anything, there's no retail tax in Fairbanks. You know, it's just as easy. If you go to the commissary, they actually have a surcharge fee that they charge for their grocery carts and whatnot, so I don't know. They got 30 and 50 amp.
I will need to go there this week and get a few grocery items, so we'll have to check out their prices.
But there's no sewer dumps at the sites. You do have to use the sewer dump. A minor inconvenience, but the prices are great.
Yeah, and this thing is easy to button up, so
Yeah, it's just a matter of pushing buttons to button it up so you can go around. You can even walk all the way around the camper. We got one neighbor right there, but they're a good 60 feet over there, and they're never here. They come in late and they leave early. You can see we're back right up to the right up to the thing. Our hose wasn't long enough to reach because of these cabins. They weren't long enough to reach the water spigot, so we had to go get another hose. So now we have two hoses. But those blue hoses are nice. They're also more flexible than the other one. Nope, that spring keeps falling down there. But this is the back of the campsite. Pretty woodsy.
all the pretty yellow flowers you could ever want.
Pretty woodsy. Oh, the dandelions.
Yeah, dandelions are good.
These are our bicycles. We have them here. We use them quite a bit.
Did you know they have a ice hockey rink here?
Somebody was asking something.
Ooh.
How much was the Ghostbusters Department 56 Village, all 9 pieces? I think Jeremy would like to know it's still active in their catalog. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Was that question for us? I don't know. What's
Oh, no,
in the
the only-
shed? The shed just has,
Well, I can tell you there's no bucket toilet in there.
yeah, there's almost nothing in there. They
Yeah,
built
there's
a
really nothing
they
in
built
there.
a frame for a mattress bed, but you like bring your own mattress. And then I think there's framing for like a sit-down stool,
Yeah, I don't think they use them at all, really.
but I don't think any of them are being used. I think what happened is they may have been used, and now someone had.
Oh, in the Santa Claus house? I don't know. I didn't check the price of it.
Someone may have complained about you can't put people in those sheds, and so there may have been. It may have been something that they built, and then
Or there just wasn't a big demand for it.
or it could be that too. So.
But I don't know. If we do go back there, I'll check the price of it. But I did not look at the price when we were there.
Huh.
If I did, I don't remember. Because I was looking at so many things. That place was so cool and had so much neat stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And you're remembering all the stuff from your childhood. So it was fun.
Yeah.
At the Santa Claus house.
So at the dinner tonight, we talked about doing a live for members.
At the desk,
Yeah.
we did.
Mm-hmm.
You talked to me about this?
Talk to me about this.
I wasn't there for that
But-
conversation.
We'll be guests at someone else's house, so we'll have to ask about that. But we might do a little quick members only shoot of the.
You want
dinner
an
tonight.
awful lot in a day, don't you?
But we'll see.
I still got a video to edit at some point today.
Okay. Well, guess we'll do that. We'll see how that. We'll see.
He's a slave driver here. You have a whole week.
Have a
Don't try
whole
to
week.
cram it all in a day.
All right.
So what do you look forward to?
I don't know. Getting a shower. I've got a lot of bug dope on me.
That smells like a good idea. Whew, my goodness. We aren't just doing this for the mosquitoes.
You got one right there.
Sure I do. And you got one right there. Yeah, so basically it's daytime until
Yeah.
midnight.
Sunsets at 12:07 or 12:09 or something like
So
that.
it's been really rough when I'm thinking, oh, it's like 10 o'clock. I should be like winding down, going to bed, but it's like, it feels like it's 4 or 5 o'clock. So that's been the rough part of getting the schedule in order.
So yes, the sun sets at 12:09
12:09.
and rises again at 3:27. Isn't that crazy? The sun will actually set before it rises today.
I don't know if there's any place for worship on the base. When I tried to look that up, I couldn't get any good information. There's a number that we still need to call, I guess.
Yeah.
The last base, which base were we on? I think it was the one in Jacksonville at the time. They said they weren't getting enough people there, so they didn't have anything going on. I don't remember if we checked Greeley because we weren't there that long.
Yeah.
But we'll have to call the number here. But if it would be nice if we could find
Yeah.
somewhere to go.
But we tuned in online to the Ocala Meadowbrook Church.
But that's not the
They
same,
stream
really.
live, yeah. But we listened to Pastor Tim's service this morning.
Yeah, that's a good supplement. But really getting yourself there.
Is there a
At a place
Salvation
is
Army
better.
somewhere in the area? I think there used to be. I don't know that there still is. The last time I remember a Salvation Army was at the old Kmart. And Kmart's not here anymore, but their old building is still here, and it's being used as a winter storage area. So that is a big thing here, is to be able to store your summer toys like RVs. They're very fragile to extreme cold temperatures.
Yeah, here they got drive-in
They have
storage,
drive-in storage. Heated
which I've never
storage.
seen that before. But
The
it's
U-Haul here is big.
needed here.
The U-Haul took over the old Sears building, and so they have heated storage in the building.
Yeah, I know they absolutely do have a chapel here. I
They
just
do.
know when
I've
I
seen
looked
it.
on the website that they didn't have any information on the website. They just give you a phone number to call.
Normally the bases have two services, two types, or
But
two
even if they do have a chapel, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's
being
utilized,
used as a chapel. Yeah.
unfortunately.
So they usually have a Catholic
But
service
we will check.
and a Protestant service. So the Protestant would be all others.
Yes, most do.
Most
it's
of 'em
just
do.
like the one in Jacksonville, they said people weren't using it, so
They had it taped
they weren't
off.
open. It was taped off. Now, when we were in Sigsbee, theirs was being used. We went to a
Mhm.
wonderful service there,
Yeah, that was good.
which was a super nice treat
Mhm.
because they were, the one lady was playing violin and the other
Mhm.
gentleman was playing the piano.
Yeah.
I believe that was for the Easter service,
Mhm.
so it was super special.
And they had food afterwards.
Yeah, that was a real treat. But yeah, I would definitely like to find that because it's a good supplement listening to it online, but it's just not the same. You don't have the same energies, and you
Mhm.
really need to have yourself planted in a nice church if you can.
Yep.
But you should also listen to the services online for supplements.
Mosquitoes.
You chasing mosquitoes?
Yeah. The bug dope don't last long.
Yeah.
Moose nugget jewelry.
I'll pass.
Yeah, let me find some for you here.
I'll pass. You could get me those gold nuggets. No, I don't really like anything super big and fancy, honestly.
There's a nugget jewelry place downtown. I think it's called Gold Rush Jewelry, and they specialize in the nugget jewelry.
Oh.
So I like to walk through there. At least
Yeah, it would
let
be
you look at it.
interesting
Yeah.
to check out. It's just not my
We
style.
rode our bikes down there, and that's another good thing about this location is you have a good place to ride your bikes. Now on the base you have to wear the helmets, but I don't have a problem with that. We have the helmets from Sigsbee that we used, but you can bike on the base and it's all paved, even though it's the you can go right off the base and you're still on a path, and it takes you all the way downtown to the river, and then you can ride along the river, and it's all paved.
Yeah, and we did that.
So we did that.
So that was nice. And the thing I've noticed too about bike riding here is in Florida, it's very taxing because of the heat.
Mm-hmm.
So it was super nice when it's nice and cool out. You can go so much further and you don't feel like you're going to die.
Yeah.
So that was super nice.
You have to remember to drink water here because
Yes.
the humidity is only like this morning was only 30%, and it did rain last night.
And now I understand why Brett doesn't drink as much water as he should.
You don't feel thirsty, but you need to drink water.
Yes. because in Florida it's so hot, you're just drinking it, drinking it, drinking it. But I noticed when we were in Florida, he doesn't drink the water like he should. But now I understand being here how he has gotten himself into that mind frame. But
I'm drinking
and
tea.
that's one thing I am
Tea has
trying to
water in
do. So does coffee,
So
by
does-
that
So
definition.
does chaga.
But I've been trying to drink a lot more water because I have been slipping on that too, eating less bread, less sweets. So we're working on that
Yeah,
because, boy, the pounds will creep up on you quick, and
they do.
the older you get, the harder it is to
Hey,
lose. Hi, Tricky.
Nice of you to join us.
So that kind of stinks, but we just got to get ourselves back in line and start living the way you should be, and surrounding yourself with positive people. Yeah, I think we all need a little tweaks here and there.
Yeah, Tamara, you can hear the birds back there.
Yeah, it's super nice.
Yeah, it's quiet all day like this. This
Yeah,
is how it is all
it's
day.
beautiful.
The most noise we've heard is each other's voice.
Oh, goodness. Yes, definitely more veggies. We don't eat enough veggies. And, that's another thing too with doing the YouTube channel is I think Jeremy was even mentioning it because he edits and I edit as well. So you're sitting there listening to yourself, looking at yourself constantly, and you're your worst critic. So it's like I get sick of the sound of my voice when I'm editing. You can see your rolls and how much weight you've gained and these things. So
Purple Peacock has some boom chicka pop.
yummy. So you start paying attention to these things more and, realizing that you really should be doing something about it because you don't feel your best. So we're working on that.
The closest lake or water to us, well, the Chena River is right over there. You could actually walk there in 5 minutes. So the river winds right around the park and all the way through Fairbanks.
Thank you. The hoodie is beautiful. I love it.
The
And
lakes,
it's so super soft.
The lakes we passed on the way over here were Harding Lake and Birch Lake. We didn't stop, but we did pull off at Birch Lake.
Yeah, that was really pretty. I
Yeah.
said, what a treat to live on this thing.
And one side of it is a military campground, and the other side of it are civilian houses. And then the back side of it, I think, is all park. There's no houses over there. So.
Very nice.
Harding Lake is more set up for. I think Harding Lake is bigger, but it's not very deep. It's more of I don't know. It's more of a recreational lake. It's closer to the base too. So jet skis, boats. It's just more of a water activity, and Birch Lake is more of a fishing lake. Although you can do activity on both lakes.
It'd be nice to live on a lake.
Yeah, I'm still looking at property in Tennessee. I've been all over Tennessee looking at Realtor.com and what's the other one? Zillow, yeah. And property's just it's expensive. And
Yeah,
then,
it's still kind of high.
but I did find some that if it was nearby, I'd like to go see it. So I am finding some stuff I'd like to go see. But we're not in a hurry, and hopefully when we get a new president, the interest rates will go down, and it'll be a buyer's market, not a seller's market.
That'll be nice because I'd love to have a nice little retreat.
Mm-hmm. But we can wait it out. The whole plan was to sell the campground during a seller's market, and then ideally it's to buy when it's a buyer's market.
Yeah.
So.
And it's always best, again, if we can go stay in an area
Mm-hmm.
and check it out for a while.
Yeah, I'd like to camp in an area and then kind of
Go to their town hall meeting and
Yeah.
see what's happening
now
there.
that we know what's going on.
We know what to look for there. We have definitely not been to any
So
town hall meetings while
if we
we're
ask
here.
for public documents, if they're reluctant or they hiccup or they give a pause,
That's a bad
that's
sign.
a bad sign.
That is a very bad sign.
Those public documents need to be like, oh yeah, right here, boom.
I know the town where my sister lives in Ohio, they don't want to give up any of their town documents either. I think they're even worse than Otter Creek.
So
They
Fort
flat tell you they're
Wainwright runs the
closed.
campground at Birch Lake, and the Air Force, I believe, they have a fam camp on Eielson, but I can't honestly, I don't know who runs the one on Birch Lake. I know it's a military campground, but I don't know who runs it. And there's also one in Valdez as well, and there's one in Seward. They're both military camps.
Okay.
Yeah. So Dotna Kenai, yeah, but it gets a little cold here.
A little. I mean, it would be super nice to have a little property here, but if you're just snowbirding here,
Yeah.
you'd probably pay more for the property
I
and the
wouldn't.
taxes.
At one time, I saw a cute little campground down on the Kenai Peninsula that was for sale. And if you could fly up here and you had a Jeep maybe already here or a vehicle already here that you could put away, then you could come up here, run the campground, have a nice summer, then fly back. You could do that. But I think I'd rather have a homestead in a more seasonal place.
It would make sense.
That's more 4 seasons. So I'm thinking Kentucky, Tennessee. Easier to just go do a week, from there and come back. Even Virginia is not out of the realm of possibility. Yep, waiting for the interest rates to go down. And it will. It's a cycle.
Yep. What goes up must
Must
come
come
down.
down. And what comes down must go up.
Yeah, that's always the pattern. It's just a waiting game.
Oh, welcome Texas. How you doing? The second largest state.
Oh, I've not.
I used to live in Texas. I like Texas. I don't have anything against Texas.
I've been there once, so I haven't really spent much time there.
Northern Michigan's a good place. It is. In some regards.
Yeah, we'll definitely have to do some research before we figure it out.
I'd like to visit the Upper Peninsula of Michigan.
Yeah, I haven't spent any time in Michigan at all.
Other than driving through it.
Yeah, but that's not really spending any time there.
No.
So,
Way back when, my first duty station was Fort Bragg, North Carolina, and my roommate was from Michigan, and he was getting out of the Army, and the 4 of us drove up to Michigan for the weekend, and then drove back. But he was staying there because he was getting out. And that was fun. It was October-ish, I think, and we were playing football outside. I remember it being cold. Cold, but not snowing. What was that question?
something about,
What for did you serve? I served in the Army. I was stationed here at Wainwright twice, and then I got out and retired from here, and stayed up here another 12 years. So I did 20 years total in Alaska. Not all in the service, but I did serve for 23 years. A little over 23 years, and I was a logistics warrant officer.
someone asked how warm were the Chena hot springs.
Oh, it was hot. Hot. You couldn't stay in there more than 10 or 15 minutes.
No, you couldn't. And they wanted to know how cold it was in the ice hotel. I think he said it was 22 degrees. So I think it fluctuates between 22 and 25,
What's that?
the ice hotel.
Oh, yeah.
So, and I imagine if it's really cold in there at night with none of the doors opening or anything, I think the biggest thing would be like no bathroom or anything. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what kind of blankets they give you or how any of that works.
No.
But I don't think I could do that.
I think
I
could
would've
do it,
froze.
but I don't see a reason to do it. That's the problem. Like, if I don't have to do it, why should I? And why should I pay to do it? They should
But
pay me to do it.
It was really neat in there. Like I had seen that on a Hallmark movie years ago.
Yeah.
And I always thought, oh my gosh, that would be so cool to check out.
And we
I did
saw
think
where
it was
they had the steps
bigger.
in there that go up to the.
Yeah, they used to at one time have
But
a little
There
slide.
used to be a slide,
But
the
because
slide
of
wasn't there.
liabilities and whatnot, they took that out.
You're welcome, Christine.
But I thought, when you're watching something on a movie or something, they make it appear to be like a whole hotel. And it really wasn't. But it
Mhm.
was way cool.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, it was cool. I mean, I like the cold when I'm sleeping, but
Yeah.
that's a little
Don't like to
extreme.
be cold. Like the core
Right.
temperature needs to be able to get back to normalcy.
You went into the army at 10 years old.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice.
No, I think
The
I
check's
was
in the mail.
I was 18. The check's in the mail. Um,
Yeah, these mosquitoes are really
starting to
starting
hover
to
around. Yeah.
want to eat some
It's,
blood.
that's something. When the sun comes out, the mosquitoes kind of go away into the wood line. But when it clouds over, they come out. So they don't like the sun.
Yeah, definitely no bathroom be a problem because I like to drink a nice hot cup of tea at night. And, you know, tea means pee, so that would not work out so well. But it was definitely fun. It was super refreshing. I loved going there. And we also talked to some nice people there. Everywhere we go, we meet some neat people. We talked to two ladies from Tennessee that was super nice.
Yeah.
So that's always fun meeting people.
Is there anybody in the chat from Tennessee?
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Love me some Tennessee.
You're the only 10 I see.
Oh, how sweet.
Can I get your digits? You put them
No.
in here?
No. We're going to have to check a few things before we give those out.
Anybody in the chat from Tennessee? Raise your hand.
Woo, woo. Melody says, me. Me.
What part of Tennessee? Where does he live, Debbie, in Tennessee?
Yeah, I wonder what are the parts to stay away from.
I found a small base down near Chattanooga called Anderson. I think it's Anderson Air Force Base. But what I've read about it, like the commissary is really small. So this is why I'd want to stay in a place for a little while and get a vibe before I'd want to just dive in and buy property unseen. Because, you know, yep, we're familiar with Summers in Alaska. West Memphis, Arkansas.
Knoxville. Got
Knoxville
Knoxville
area.
in the house.
I don't believe there are any.
Do you miss Russ the Sus or Don the Con?
No.
Negative.
No. All
Negative
positive.
Ghost Rider.
All positive energy here.
Yeah, that's been what has been really great is you're so far away from all the negatives. It's pretty easy to get disconnected here and get away from all the negative energy.
Yeah.
So it really changes your whole mindset. There's like no anxiety.
Everything's done on Alaska time.
Yeah, I
And-
mean,
and we're 4 hours back of the East Coast. So right now we're just over 3 o'clock.
it's super nice. As I was saying earlier, like the post office here on the base is closed this weekend. So tomorrow I got to check that because I know a few people had sent stuff and I'm very thankful for that.
I went to basic training at Fort Leonard Wood, Cheryl.
There was some stuff on the wish list that was sent. So like I said, next Sunday, I'll be opening those. We're going to go to the post office Monday when they're open. And I also wanted to thank all of our members. This week we did a members only walking around the Barnes
Hey,
and
what's
Noble
wrong
here.
with Georgia? There's nothing wrong with Georgia except that it's northern Florida. There's not that much difference.
No, I mean, I've lived in Georgia before for a small time period.
I've got a cousin in Georgia now living in Savannah. In fact, 2 of them live in Savannah.
So
We drove through Savannah on the way up here.
I've always loved
Like we did.
Tennessee. I've stayed there a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I have some family members that live in Tennessee as well.
Ideally, Centerville, yeah. Ideally, I'd like to get near
They're next
Fort.
to Fort Campbell.
Yeah, I'd like to get near Fort Campbell. Okay, big guys, wifey, you got some information on? Here's what I'd like. Something out toward Land Between the Lakes is nice. Not necessarily a house, but a small lot or property with utilities or with a shop on it, or if it has a house, a small house. But it doesn't have to have a house. Ideally, we would just like to have a medium-sized shop that the RV can fit in, that the Jeep can fit in, and that we can launch our boat to. I was stationed at Fort Campbell too. I was at Fort Campbell. I left here and went to Fort Campbell and came back. Well, went here, went to Campbell, deployed with them, went to Korea, and then came back to Alaska. So that was my last 3 duty stations. But I enjoyed Fort Campbell. I was only there 3 years, and we lived on the base near the Fort Campbell High School. And we went to Land Between the Lakes quite a bit. Yep, Pigeon Forge, lots of lakes, but there's no base nearby.
Yeah, I like Pigeon Forge. I've been there before. Rented cabins there.
We're looking for that nice little place on the lake that is reasonably close to a military base. It can be an hour away, that'd be okay.
So as I was saying before, I was thanking our members,
Oh yeah,
and we did a little live at the Barnes and Noble here in town.
we did. Yeah.
We were walking through there, and that was a neat thing because bookstores are not big anymore for a lot of people. I still love bookstores. I love libraries. I used to work in a library in Broward County, and I like having a book in hand much better than I like reading something over my phone, although it's more convenient at times just to have your phone with you. So it is a bonus option to be able to read stuff on your phone, but curling up with a good book
Yeah.
is really great. So I did have fun going and to the bookstore and seeing the differences in the bookstore
That's
here.
a good tip, big guys. Buy it in the wintertime. Good tip, thank you.
Yep, it's
Yep.
super nice to be able to live your life. We're very blessed and I'm enjoying it immensely. It's like all the hard work has paid off.
Someone mentioned Texas has a lot of bases. They do, and they have lakes, and they do. But they also have heat. The heat is what we're trying to get away from. We have that in Florida.
Yeah, 30 minutes from Chattanooga.
Another thing Texas has a lot of, well,
I do know some people that live in Chattanooga.
yeah. I think the Chattanooga area, reading about it, it's an old railroad town nestled in the mountains. And it's not that far from Florida. Like if you wanted to go down.
Isn't it by the river?
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I knew someone who grew up in Chattanooga and he said he was a river rat
Texas has AC.
because they were always
Yeah, I know.
on the river.
What Texas needs to do, though, is shut the border. They need to shut that border.
Yes,
I'm a
they
little bit
do.
apprehensive about.
I feel bad for all the
about-
people that live right there and what they have to deal with.
That's
because of
another
that.
thing. What used to be better 20 years ago than what it is today is Texas. They need to close the border.
Yep, that would be very good.
Idaho's probably beautiful. Yeah, I'm sure it is.
They got those yummy potatoes. Hi from Israel.
Ah,
Nice. Hi, how are you doing over
she
there?
visited Israel.
I like Israel.
Yeah,
I love the food
a
there.
lot of history.
Lots of history, and the food there was amazing. Very healthy. I bet it is. I wouldn't want to live right next to the border either. It's terrible.
Yeah, they need to secure it before I consider it.
Yeah, Israel is a great place to go to if you get a chance. Ooh, Ireland. That's another place I always thought would be cool to visit.
So the Otter Creek meetings. If you were mayor for a day, what would you do with Don?
What would I do with him?
Yeah. Would you say his walking out was he just walked off his seat?
Yes.
I would too. I don't know what there is to reconsider.
Like I said, if there's some kind of law that contradicts that, I haven't seen it. Nobody's pointed it out.
And this is a
So,
month. This is 2 months into the
but
new year.
if
Like,
there's no law regarding how to handle that, then I guess a precedent would need to be set.
yeah, which you've done that before.
And that
You
would
gave Russell the
be you
1-year
walked
term.
away from your seat. Bye bye.
I would just say bye bye, and then I'd go sue us.
But that's the way I look at it. He walked up, he got up, he forfeited his
He
seat.
walked out. He didn't want to
So
be a part of it.
I don't really
Okay.
understand, but
Yeah, I agree, Darren.
they're
Fire him.
handling
He
things
fired himself.
how they're handling
He
things.
fired himself. He walked out.
Yeah, he quit right there. He forfeited his seat. I don't see any other way around that. But
And the way that kind of happened is they seated those new members before the meeting. Like the meeting, it's like the meeting's now in order. They seated the new members, then they started the meeting. He walked out before the meeting even started.
and that's not the first time he's done that.
Right.
He did that that other year because he was upset that he felt that people only voted him in because they didn't want Russell. So he got up before being sworn in
hmm
and forfeited his seat before.
They have traditionally always played games like this. If it doesn't go their way, they throw a rant, a fit, and they get up and walk
Yeah, just
out.
think if people had been filming this a long time ago, you guys would have been really thick in the things watching this drama unfold for years because
And the only
it's been
reason
going on for years.
the only reason they walked out is because they only had 3 board members, and by walking out, they essentially stopped the meeting. Let's say they had 5 board members and walked out. It'd been like, okay, so what? They could still have a meeting and they could still vote their stuff. You don't need 5 members to have a meeting. You need 3. You need a quorum. And they were the majority of the quorum, and that was the problem. Now you don't have the majority of the quorum anymore. It's gone. It's done. Me, mayor for a day, I would announce the vacant seat that Don left. Allow about a week for any new candidates to put in a letter of interest and get their Form 6 filed online. Present that to Belinda. At the end of the week is the cutoff. And then at the next meeting, the very next meeting, if it's a week later or whenever the next meeting is, you put on the agenda, fill the vacant seat with the candidates that put in the Form 6 and put in their letter of interest. And you vote on it. It's pretty easy. That's what they should do. And that's probably what they will do. But we'll see what happens. He could have opposed the motion for swearing in the new members, yes. But remember now, he's a minority.
It just,
You got to seat the
again,
new members.
shameful that
act
they don't
like
want
children.
better for the town.
Yeah, if they
Because
wanted
that's all they're
better,
doing is squashing good for the town.
Don can disagree, but what you do is you sit there and you go, well, I disagree, and this is why, and then you vote against it. But just by throwing a rant and walking out of the room, you're a child. You're acting like a child. An adult would sit there and say, I just disagree. And this is why I disagree, and I won't vote for it. That's what an adult would do, right? He should have stuck around and done that. But hey, Otter Creek is better off that he leaves the board and we get someone else in there that wants to do good for the town, and then things will move
Yeah,
forward.
there's other people that live in that town that
There
want to do
are.
good in that town. Even if Russell puts in his letter of interest, he's not going to be the only one putting in their letter of
Teresa.
interest.
See, I never
There's
ran.
better choices
I never
than Russell.
ran for Teresa. I never ran for a board seat because I'm not a popular choice, and I knew that I probably, in all likelihood, would not get on the board, and certainly would not be mayor. So I knew that because I tell people, I tell people what they don't want to hear. I tell them the truth. I don't care if they like it or not, and that's a problem. You have to be kind of politically correct. And see, everybody loved Therese. They knew her from the mailroom, and so I was like, "Hey, you should run for the board." And no, I don't influence Theresa's decisions.
Actually,
She reads it
Don the Con
for herself.
is the one who advocated for me
Yeah.
to be on the board.
Don wanted her to be
He
on the board.
wanted me to be on the
He
board.
wanted you to be the town
he
clerk.
was, yes, he wanted me to be the clerk. He wanted me to be on the board because he was fed up with Russell and the way Russell runs things.
Yeah.
And after every meeting we attended, he would tell me, he wants me to do these things and he'd think I'd be great for the town and all these other things. So it's kind of interesting to see the way he opposed me at the meetings when he was carrying on quite the opposite to get me there in the first place.
Yes, and we're familiar that Gail has expressed some interest.
Yeah,
At
we've
least
heard the same
that.
thing. But until they announce a vacant seat, no one
Yeah.
can put in their letters of interest anyway.
They
So
have to
if
announce
she's
the seat, and then applications have to be accepted a certain time period with a start and an end date.
so first and foremost, they need to decide if they are letting Don
Get back
on the
or
board, which is the rumor I've heard that they are allowing him that choice. So nobody knows if that has actually been put out there. I don't know those things. Or if he's responded to that, I don't know those things either. So we'll have to wait to see if in fact he responded and wants to. If not at the next meeting, we're going to find out one way or the other. Either he said, yes, I'm coming back, or he said no, and they're going to announce that they're accepting letters of interest. So if they do accept the letters of interest, I'm sure there'll be several people in the town putting in for that. So no matter who besides Russell that's wanting bad for the town puts in their letter of interest, there's going to be other people on the other end who want good for the town.
There are other
So-
people who are interested in getting on the board. I'm going to say it personally because I will express my feelings and I don't care if people like them. I don't know that Gail's the best choice. I like her. But if you remember, Gail was back and forth, and very undecided a lot of the times when she was on the board. And her leaving when she did, she gave up on the board. She gave up on the people. And that gave it a 2-2 split and made it very hard to do anything on the board. Now, this is just me speaking my personal opinion. I would like to see some other options. I'm not saying Gail's a bad choice. I'm saying I think there might be better choices. That's all I'm saying. I like Gail. Gail's a fine person. I don't have a problem with her. She's just a little wishy-washy, and she's easily influenced by what social media is saying about her, and she's easily influenced by her family. And I get it, but if you're going to serve the town, you serve the town with your heart, you vote what you think, and you don't let people sway your opinion. That's my personal opinion. That's just me. So bash me. I'm not bashing Gail. I just think there's better choices for the town moving forward.
I just hope whoever does put in their letters of interest and whoever the board votes on and chooses, I hope they're there for the right reasons, and I hope they do a good job, and I see nothing but good for Otter Creek's future.
Yeah.
No matter, I do believe they will be picking a good person, and I
Yeah.
do believe good people will be putting in for it.
I think so too.
So,
Yeah.
any people that are there now, there's only one person there now that I'm keeping my eyes on to see which way they go. But even if they go the wrong way, they're 1 out of 4, so
Yeah.
it's not going to affect much.
Keeping an eye on Laura.
And again, I hope and pray that everybody's good and wants good.
And I believe that cutoff date for the Form 6 filing, because Russell still has to file a Form 6, even though he's off the board. 'cause
Anybody
he was,
who stayed past January 1st has to fill out
a
the Form 6.
And I think July 1st is the cutoff. I think he has till the end of June to file the Form 6.
I want to say, if I remember correctly, that it was July 1st was the deadline. I could
So,
be wrong.
Yeah, we could
There's
be
been a
wrong.
lot
It's
of
either
dates
June or
thrown in
July.
there, but yeah. So
So-
we're pretty much, by the end of this month, something should be
Yeah,
done.
Should be something online.
But whether or not it's accurate or truthful, that would be
That's
a whole
another
nother story.
Sue us.
And who polices that. So
Where's Russell's wife? Yeah, she's very quiet. She lives there with him at his house, but his house is kind of tucked back in the woods. He lived right next to the campground, but we had a creek that runs between us, so you didn't really worry about coming over the property, this and that.
She used to drive through the town
does drive
on a
through the
daily
town.
basis as well. She will usually be driving his blue pickup truck,
with the step side. Yeah,
and
she drives faster than he does.
Yeah, you usually
He
know when
creeps.
she's driving
And she
because he
goes
creeps
zoom.
and she drives at a regular speed. She's not creeping around. But, I can't say I blame her. She stays tucked away. I'd be embarrassed if that was my
I would
husband.
be embarrassed if
But-
my significant other was behaving like that.
Also, in the same respect, if I was hearing all these things about my husband doing the things that he does, I wouldn't stay married to him. So, but, I never have had any interaction with her. Everybody has always said she's a saint, she's an angel. I
Tricky,
just
I think
know.
most people would have divorced him.
Yeah, I just know that anytime she passed, I always waved to her and she did not wave back.
She just gives you a smug.
Yeah, so I guess because her husband had issues with us, she took on the same attitude, or she's just so embarrassed, whatever the case. But I don't have anything
I have a question
ill-will
for
to
Russell.
say against her
I
at
do
all.
have a question for Russell, if I could ask him, or if anybody that is that talks to him is watching this. Ask Russell, what exactly is it that I did to you that made you, I don't know, act the way that you act? Because I know we were friends, we worked together. I mean, we weren't really close friends, we were associate friends.
My question for you is, why do you care?
I don't really care, but just let the question be asked. I don't expect an answer. He doesn't have an answer. Like, what did I ever do to him?
I believe we all know the answer to that question.
What? What did I do to him?
What is it that ended everything?
Yeah, well. So he wanted favors from you? That's what ended our friendship?
Y'all didn't have a friendship,
Well,
number one.
Well, it wasn't a friendship.
It was a working
It was
relationship.
a working relationship.
So, and the
I'm
reason,
the one that should be all ticked off.
the reason he
Why
was
is he
nice
ticked
to you
off?
in the first place is because he wanted your votes and he wanted other things. So, since he was not getting any of that, why is he going to stay chummy with you?
Yeah,
That's the
guess,
way he operates. He's a snake in the grass,
so
period.
He was done
And
with
why
me.
would you even want to be around somebody like that?
Well, I don't. But
So,
thanks, Teresa.
that's what I have to say about that.
Well, hey, we're going to wrap this up because we have a dinner to get to, and I need to get a shower before we go. So we thank you for joining us. We appreciate our members, those that join the members. We do have 2-tier memberships out there, and we kept the prices really low so that you could be part of the family and get some more one-on-one time with us. We do guarantee at least a video or live once per week outside of the Sunday live. And
If that doesn't happen, it's his fault.
if that doesn't happen, it's my fault.
Yes. Jason says, please shower. Whoa, God. All the mosquitoes should be gone now,
Gone
right?
now, right?
Woo wee. That's exactly right, Stacy.
Thanks, Stacy. Well, thanks, guys, for joining us. Another
Yep,
lovely,
and
beautiful day in Alaska.
Thank
We're
you
glad to have
again to
you.
anybody who sent anything off
Thanks, Tricky, for
the
being a
wish
member.
list. I will be picking that up Monday, and I'll
Yep.
be opening it on Sunday.
And they do not have general delivery at the Fort Wainwright Post Office, we learned.
Yeah, it does go to the
It goes to
downtown
the
office in
downtown
Fairbanks.
Fairbanks office. But we're going to be checking all 3.
Yeah.
Both of those and the other campground. Because we got a few packages that are in the pipeline.
I
and
did change the address online,
Yes.
which the Fairbanks one is 315 Barnett Street,
Yeah.
but that's where they do the general delivery here.
And that's a busy post office. They also do passports there. But we're actually closer to that one than the Wainwright one, I think. By straight line driving distance, I think we're closer to the Fairbanks office anyway.
Alrighty.
So,
So yeah, we'll be checking in there with them and getting that. We
Yep.
will enjoy the seafood later.
yep.
And you guys have a good week and take care of each other and stay peaceful, and let's see what positive changes anybody can make in their lives, and we can talk about it next week and
Yep.
share things with each other. If anybody's got good diet plans, nutrition plans, or
It's all about getting up early and exercising.
some good advice on what good protein powders
Bye,
there
James.
are, or different things we could try to lose weight. Let's get healthy together.
Yeah.
You know, let's make some little changes and share our good ideas and puff each other up and move towards positive goals together.
Yep. You got a mosquito.
That's my friend. Don't kill him. But anyway, hope you all have a super great week. We love spending time with you, and we will see you again next week.
Yep. Sounds good. Thank
And
you.
We love you. Take care of each other. Mwah.
Tube town, baby.